Hello, you famous villains and innocent bystanders. Welcome to another episode of An Angel and Her Unicorn comic book reviews. I'm Alan the Unicorn, and I talked to all my friends this day from book club. So with me today is
Dalian,
James, just James.
Terry, just Terry.
No, you have
That's my shtick.
You have a name from your Straight Talk show.
No,
What's
we
your-
dropped.
Oh, you dropped him?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
dropped
so
the.
fun.
Terry and the
It's the worst thing
Pirates.
ever. I guess you get
Planet
did
Terry?
last night.
Yeah,
I'm just devastated.
that's it.
Dal the Lion.
We will be reviewing the books for the week. We will be spoiling them, so if you haven't read your books, you may want to take a break and come back after you have read them. If not, we will spoil the crap out of them, and you can enjoy that too.
Well, they will be spoiling him. I'm just here. I didn't read anything this week.
Apparently, Terry did not get the homework that we gave him a month ago, and he has failed us to us once again. So maybe next time we'll get all of Terry's great opinions and reviews. But until then, if you can, like, share, and subscribe. We'd love to have a conversation. Ring the bell so that way you get notifications when we post videos. I try to post weekly. Sometimes it doesn't always work. Until then, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to let James. No,
Let's go,
okay.
James. That's
We
fine.
might want to get down out of the way.
I know.
Man, you're all rude.
we are.
So
All right,
go ahead, Dal.
Okay. My first one I'm doing is Berserker Unbound #2. I did #1.
I heard that the first one was really good, so I haven't heard
I
about
liked
the second one. So.
It's by Jeff Lemire and Mike Deodato.
Very cool.
Art
Yeah.
straight off a Molly Hatchet album.
Which one?
Any of them. All of them.
Yes.
So in the last one, the Berserker's wife and kids were killed, and he kept feeling the people that did it were charging him, and he fought them off, and he's like, I should have just let them kill me so I could join them, but I'm a coward. So he ran into this cave, and these lights came on, and he woke up in our world.
Yeah. It looks like New York.
And he met a homeless guy.
Blind, isn't he?
No.
Okay, not blind.
And
And he's wounded.
Didn't they do a
and
what
he's
if of
wounded.
this?
Hush.
Possibly.
so in this beginning of this one, the homeless guy is going to try to patch up his wounds. They didn't make it clear in the last one if they could understand each other. In this one, they make it clear that they don't speak the same language and can't communicate yet. So the homeless guy tends his wounds and takes him to his little camp. You get the feeling it's like in a park or a wooded area, kind of close but a little ways away from the
Like a
city. And they he says that nobody comes and bothers him in there, and so he goes to he offers the Berserker some of his food, and he keeps trying to talk to him, and the Berserker is like, your food tastes like poo. So because we may have younger viewers, so I'll tone it down. So the homeless guy goes on and on for 9 panels about how he doesn't talk much. And he could just go days without talking, and then he talks about how long he can go without talking.
Talking about not talking.
Yeah. And so the next day, the Berserker guy wakes up, and he finds his own blood trail back to the cave, and he's trying to reactivate the magic so he can go home. And the homeless guy comes in, and he thinks the homeless guy either had something to do with bringing him there, or knows where the magic powers of this world are. So the homeless guy's like, well, this is the Thursday when they hand out free food down at the food bank. why don't you come with me? And the Berserker's like, this is the way to the Sorcerer's Palace. Yes, I must go with you on this quest. And so they head into town. The Berserker's overwhelmed by the squalor in the town, and then he sees the homeless camps. It's like, not even the worst place in my world looks like this. And then he sees the skyscrapers, and he's not even the best place in my world looks like this, and they're right next to each other. So he's a little freaked out, and so they're eating at the
soup kitchen.
At the soup kitchen, and some of the other guys are eyeing him, and he growls at them, and they're like, nothing, just eating.
Nothing to hear.
So they go to a liquor store, and the homeless guy's trying to buy a bottle of hooch, and he doesn't quite have enough money, and the guy's trying to run him out, and the Berserker hands him a gold coin, and
Good.
the guy's like, and then the homeless guy's like, why did we eat at the soup kitchen when you're loaded? We could have had steak. So the homeless guy's headed back to his camp, and the Berserker's like, you weren't taking me to the Serpent King at all. You were just feeding your belly. And so the homeless guy's like, you can come with me or not, but I don't think you're gonna make it on your own. And so that's how it ends. So.
That he cleaved him in half.
I was like, he's gonna kill him.
It's kind of like they took the dialogue from two different comics and kind of combined them, it looks like.
Yeah. So it's good. The art's good. I hope they get past this we don't understand each other thing. I mean, the fish out of water trope has been done before.
Well,
but so far I like it. I'm not a big Jeff Lemire fan, but so far I like this one. So
I had to say, I think this seems to be a trend that's very big nowadays, is bringing people from the past into the
or magic world, either into or out of a magic world.
Yes. So because they just did this. So there's another one, Knights Temporal.
Well, and Die is them going into a magic world.
Yeah,
or the world
this is really big nowadays.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a big thing that people are exploring and stuff, and so.
Well, the new one, the new King Arthur one's that way.
Yeah.
Or the new sword one.
Once and Future.
Yeah.
And we just reviewed, but that's an old one though.
Yeah.
Camelot 3000. But yeah, it seems to be a big thing lately. Is everybody's bringing people from the past or turning them into something. So, what'd you think though? Rating?
I'd give it a 4 horns. I enjoyed it. The art's gorgeous.
It's very Mike Deodato.
Oh yeah.
I mean, very much him.
It's a. You guys could see it's a subdued color palette. There's it's like mostly brown or shades of brown, but they do a lot with those shades, but there's hard. There's no green.
Yeah.
There's no blue. It's all brown and red and all that end of the spectrum. But it's still gorgeous.
All right, Terry. All right, Dow. Go ahead.
I read House of X number, I believe it's 4. It's the newest one that came out. It's a, for those that don't know, it's a teeter-tottering kind of back and forth between this other book called Powers of 10.
Vacillating?
Yes. Big words, hurt brain. And so it's telling a 12-issue story in basically two 6-issue series. The mutants have an island called Krakoa. Basically, they're its own island. They've said, "Hey, this is our place. This is us. This is what we're doing. We are the superior race. You all are going to be dead in 5 years." To the humans. In House of X,
So it's the same old story.
pretty much, yeah. Yeah, nothing's breaking the mold here. So
Have they
Speaking of master,
have they
No, exactly. I'm going to get to that too.
expounded on the why all the non-mutants are going to be dead in 5 years?
Just genetics.
Just
Yeah, they actually Krakoa. They actually do have a plant that medicine that they are feeding that they selling to the humans that will extend their life another like 3.
no, I thought it was number 5.
Hmm?
It'll expand them another 5.
Another 5, right? Yeah.
But I didn't know if there was an event or something that
It's just-
happened
it's
that
just the-
we just didn't know
they're-
about, or
No. You mentioning Master Mold. There's a human base that's been built,
By the sun.
but yeah, it's by the sun, called Mother Mold, and it will produce other Master Molds. So Xavier sends a group of his X-Men up to take care of it. Cyclops, Wolverine, Jean Grey, Nightcrawler, Moonstar, I think, and a couple others. And they do what they need to do, but it goes horribly wrong as normal, and
I was just about to say that, and then it all goes
horribly wrong. Yes. And I believe the last page shows them all dying in explosions.
Ooh.
So Xavier sent a whole team of X-Men that we all know and love to their death.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure Jean Grey will be up there and
Yeah.
stop it. But
Yeah.
and get turned into the Phoenix.
The art's really good.
who is this one? I can't remember.
I can't remember. It's a new artist.
R.B. Silva and
It starts with a P, I think.
Pepe Larraz.
Yeah.
I love Pepe Larraz. He's
Hickman's-
not new. He's been around for
Has he?
a couple of years. Yeah,
Okay.
he did
another
Avengers for a
20-year
while.
overnight success.
Yeah, exactly.
He's talented.
Mystique, that was the other one that was up there. This has been a really good series. Kind of lulled a little bit and it's kind of gone back up. So, but it's been Marvel's hoping this is redefines the X-Men's.
That's where I'm at. I feel like this is not redefining him. This is just another story, and
Yeah.
that's what it feels like. Is just another story, but they're just taking a long time to do it.
I think it's gonna be
why
they're cleaning the slate, and then they're gonna start building. I think, but I don't think the slate needs to be cleaned.
Well,
You have all
it's
this
funny 'cause,
history.
Well, and they have redone it so many times
Right.
that it's you either don't care or you're like, well, they're just going to undo it with the next writer.
I like it. I just don't. I don't see where it's going with it because it seems like because I've seen the new slew of comics that they're coming out with, and there's like 6 different books, and it just seems like I don't understand why they're this. I know it's like a world building, but I'm just not quite.
Right.
I'm not quite clear on where this direction is going. So I'm curious to see where it's going to happen. But I have enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been really good.
So rating wise, what would you give it?
I would give it. I would say 3.5 horns.
I haven't had a chance to read it yet, so I can't confirm nor deny what.
Right. We can't confirm we're doing.
No.
Okay, thanks.
Your horrible decision making skills.
No, it's actually been really good. So.
Are you sure it's a 3.5? Your math skills in the last episode.
Is that average? All right, I'm gonna do "Something Is Killing the Children," and it's written by James Tyrion, and the art is by Werther Deledra, Deledra. So, sorry.
This is the book that had all the talk about the cover for
Yeah.
Jenny Frison, and it had the retailer
Right.
cover that the retailers didn't know that they could get the retail cover.
Yeah, the final order
'Cause
cut
it-
off.
From Boom.
Yes.
What? All
Just
the covers?
that they do this stuff where, it's a secret cover that you could have ordered if you'd known about it. Well,
Well, the retailers who are up digitally wise do
Right,
know
right.
about it. So.
but
If they caught it, they went on there and caught it.
Well, yeah, most
or if the guy
of
that's supposed to monitor the digital stuff for the non-digital comic shop in town
wouldn't matter.
did his job, and
Well, we-
Needless to
We're gonna
say,
read
"Something Is Killing the Children"
Yes, thank you.
by Boom.
with the
So-
with the great Jenny Frison covers.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's one with a picture of the knife over
Black
the
and
eye.
white, and then there's a color version.
Yeah.
This one is not. This
And
one
Who,
is
who
like,
is writing
this
this?
cover that's on
Which
the digital
one's
copy.
the retailer incentive? Is
James
that-
Tyrion.
It's Tyrion. I like his stuff.
We've done a book club from him. What did we read from him? Didn't we?
No.
James Tynion.
Mm-mm.
I feel like we've read something.
Did he
of his.
do the Sword of Ages?
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up again.
So somebody's
No, that
killing
was a guy
children.
from.
Yeah. Anyways,
And she's going into.
we're gonna be here for
Stockton,
4
right?
hours if we don't.
I'm trying to get you to go
Something's
on.
killing the children. So it starts off with these.
Still?
These.
They're not dead yet. My God,
Very bad at it.
Some tenacious children.
That's what ones usually are.
Anyway, go ahead.
Very
What's it-
difficult to kill.
Something is killing the children again.
So it starts off with a group of children. There's 4 boys, and they're all playing this truth or dare. And then there's always the one that he wants to do the truth, and then the other one's like, "Whoa, you're being a baby because you didn't do the dare." So then they do the dare, and they cut to one of the boys is sitting in a room with police, and he's kind of like, I didn't know what to do. I don't know what happened. Like I was there, and all of a sudden they were all dead. He goes, something killed them, and so this officer's trying to figure out what's going on, like what happened to this boy. Cuts to 2 weeks later, and it's there's this girl that she has no legs, no arm, one arm, and one eye is missing. And she's in this wagon, and she's sitting there on the street, and then all of a sudden, out of the forest comes this other girl with blonde hair, and she's got this bandana around her mouth that looks like a skull smile, or like a really creepy mask, and she's got these 2 giant machetes. And so she walks over to the girl, and she's like, "It's done." And she basically infers that she's killed some kind of monster, and she gets a phone call that she finds out that she has to go somewhere else. So she says goodbye to the little girl, and it cuts back to the boy going back to school with all his friends dead. And of course, everybody, the boy, they pick on him because they think he's killed everybody.
Yeah, that's the kid you want to pick on. The kid that you think just murdered
3 other
I
kids.
think
3
intelligent.
people.
So he's talking to the principal, and the principal seems to be kind of like this progressive principal. He's like, "Yeah, I understand. It's got to be difficult for you." And then it cuts back to the blonde girl that's kind of the monster hunter. Kind of gets off the bus, and she's looking. She sees this big wall of missing children posters on it, and then she comes to the school where she runs into the boy that survived, and she's asking him what's going on, and she's like, "Yeah, I was attacked at one point too, and I can help you. You just got to tell me what happened." And so then he kind of starts recounting what's happened to the kids, and at one point there's like a boy that's torn in half, trying to get him to help him, out of the forest. And then he finds over his other friend whose legs are gone and his face is gone, and then this monster rip one of the boys in half, and then she kind of tells him she's going to help him kill it. So it's really kind of creepy. The art's really kind of dirty and gritty, and a lot of cross hatching, and the characters are really kind of interesting. Like, it's interesting to see this girl, because it's not like it's kind of a Buffy-esque character, but it's not. Like, she does seem like she's just a person. Like, something horrible's happened to me, and so now I'm going to try to stop all this stuff from happening to other people. And the boy's really shook up, and he's messed up, and so I liked it. That was a really good first issue. I thought I liked the way. Normally, I don't like the cut scenes were harsh, but not in this book. The book, it kind of flowed well. It had a decent pacing to where it kind of was easy to understand. And then once you got to the end, they kind of gave you that payoff of showing you the monster. And then it's kind of like, okay, so now and then they tell you what they're going to do. So I thought it was a pretty good first issue.
So what kind of monster is it?
I don't know. It's like it's some kind of whatever monster they've created. It looks like a spider.
So book 2 is going to be called "Something is Killing the Something That Is Killing the Children."
Yeah, it looks like a spider with like a bunch of arms and a bunch of eyes and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
So-
Looks like something out of Japanese
sounds-
horror movies.
Similar to something I read a few months ago, I think.
What was it called? Something's Killing Terry?
No, it was about these kids. They're out in the woods. They're supposedly there's a monster out there, and they encounter the monster, and it basically eats this one kid, and the rest of the kids get away. And the next day, she's at school. The kid that got ate, and they find out it's the monster taking form of her body,
Ah,
and she kills one of the kids in the bathroom stall and eats him, and
takes over his form.
no, she keeps the form,
Oh.
and she's going after the other kids at the school,
Huh.
and it was
Figure
pretty
out
good.
what that's called, because now I want to read it.
Yeah.
You
Sounds
don't like
interesting.
horror.
This one was pretty good. I thought, that they did pretty good. I'm not a big horror person, but this one was interesting, and I'm curious to see how they're going to take these characters. Is he going to become like a monster hunter with her? Or is she a monster hunter? They give you just enough information to kind of get interested in. The dialogue was really entertaining. I really liked the dialogue between the principal and the kid. So I'd say 4 out of 5 unicorn horns. I really enjoyed it. I
I'll
thought it
figure
was
out what
good.
the book was though as well. Let you guys know.
Semi off topic. Pretty far off topic.
We don't have time for this, remember?
Yeah.
Alan said you didn't have time.
The Truth or Dare, somebody was talking about when you're a kid, the worst thing you could pick was Dare. As an adult, the worst thing you can pick is Truth.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Very true. That is very true. All right, here you go, James.
Okay, my next
Last go round.
book is Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. It's a 6-issue miniseries. It is by Hauser,
Jody
Mello,
Hauser,
Doogie
Adriana
Howser.
Mello.
Jody Hauser.
That's what I said.
Morales, and Hi-Fi.
So it's not by Doogie Howser.
Possibly.
It could be. So it's kind of told from Harley's point of
Of
view.
course.
She Poison Ivy died in
Identity Crisis.
Heroes
Or
in Crisis.
Heroes in Crisis, yeah.
And then a new Poison Ivy grew up from a plant that
Mm-hmm. A rose.
Ivy had given to Harley at one point. But she looks very planty and naked. So they're out at a restaurant, and Harley's gonna take Ivy on a shopping spree to get her covered up. While they're in there, Ivy's form degenerates into just like a mass of vines and leaves.
Kind of looks like a swamp thing, you think?
Yeah, she says she can't hold her form. So Harley packs her in a shopping bag and takes her home. And Harley remembers she got a gift from Lex Luthor to give to Ivy at some point. And so she goes to Ivy. She had kept this gift for a while, and she goes to Ivy and she's like, "Here's this box that I just now got, definitely, and have not been sitting on for weeks." And she says it's from Luthor, and that it's she's like, "It might be a bomb, so I'm going to go ahead and open it. If this goes boom, I'm going to haunt the crap out of that jerk." So she opens it up, and it's like a box of fertilizer. So Ivy eats it, and it helps her kind of get her form back. So Harley's then lamenting that she's has been hanging with the heroes or flirting with the good side, and that she used to be the one of the people that everybody feared, and she wants to go back to that. So Ivy, after doing the fertilizer, gets
Cocooned.
yeah, she cocoons up, and then wakes up looking more like herself.
Except
Wasn't she always green?
No.
Oh.
Well, I guess it depends on the version. You said.
Jim Lee version, I think, made of green.
Okay.
And so-
Well, though she's all green. Ivy's like, yeah, whatever was in that box helped me grow much stronger.
Miracle Grow.
And Ivy says, yeah, or Lex just took a crap in a box and mailed
Yeah,
it to
that's
you.
like a-
She's like, which is a pretty good gag, I'd admit. So, Ivy notes that her flower powers have grown. So they're sitting there talking, and then the flowers on the front table just like explode, grow into a big killer vines, and they're grabbing Harley and Ivy, and Ivy says, this isn't me doing this. And then 2 plant monsters come busting into the house, and then the Floronic Man comes in.
It's not just the Floronic Man. It's him, and he has eaten the new Guardian of the Green. So what is it? The
It's not the
Symphony
Swamp
of
Thing. Symphony of Trees are gone.
Right. It's now the Symphony of Roses,
Mm-hmm.
and
The
they
Parliament of Flowers.
Parliament of
Flowers.
Flowers, and they made a new Guardian, and he kind of went crazy, and the Floronic Man ate him, and like kind of combined with him. So now he's kind of like this.
Kind of a-
avatar.
Because they say
Yeah.
no one elected you, and she's like, he's like, I didn't want elected. I seized power.
Yeah.
And that he wants Ivy to join up with him.
Yeah, that was all in Justice League Dark.
So, and that's
Harley's
it.
Creep. I'm glad to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I liked it. It's I haven't read some of the side books, so a little confused, but not overly. I didn't. There's a lot of books where I'm like, what?
Totally missed something.
Yeah.
Coffin Bound?
Yeah, books that don't have any side books that I felt a lot more lost in than this book that obviously does have tie-ins to
Yeah.
other books. So I like the art. I like the funny introspection type stuff. So I give it a 4 horns.
Nice.
I enjoyed it.
It's on my list. I just haven't got to it yet.
Same
so.
here. I'm glad to see Adriana Mello doing art again. I loved her stuff from the 90s, like Fantastic Four, Unplugged that she's done
Yeah.
and stuff. And then she did Plastic Man, which is a little bit a different style, but her going back to her kind of Diodato-ish style where she came from, I really enjoyed that.
It was good to hear that Doogie Howser's back in.
Oh, shut up. That's Jody Hauser, sir. God. See what we get to deal with.
All right, here you go, Dal.
My go.
Last book. Make it count.
I'm going to go Doomsday Clock number 11. And I know you roll your eyes. I know. We've talked about it off camera.
Yeah.
To me, though, it's one of those books that I know it's been late and everything, but way late. Yeah.
Like
Have you heard the
it's
new joke? They're supposed to have issue 12 by November.
Well, it's like, it's so late
Yeah.
that like stuff that's now happening is supposed to
Right.
be already established.
Right. But it's one of those books I don't mind waiting for because I know the art is really detailed.
Gary Frank is
The
very
story is very dense and good. I
What makes
feel
it dense?
it's just there's a lot going on in the story. It's not like most comics we can read in like
convoluted
3
backstory
minutes.
with
Now,
dialogue,
wasn't this the one that was
travel.
supposed to link
Yes.
the Watchmen and
With
the
the
DC
DC
universe?
yes.
Has it done that?
It has done
Only
that.
got
The
one.
last
thing-
couple issues it has kind of linked that it was
I heard that was
Man-
lacking. That everybody was like, "This is supposed to be what links the
It
two,"
do-
and
it
it
does.
hasn't happened yet.
because we're building to a Superman Dr. Manhattan fight in issue 12.
Yeah, but that's the only character from Watchmen that's in the book. Like
Osmodeus is in the book. Rorschach was in the book. The comedian
no,
was in the
Rorschach
book.
was not in the book. Rorschach's dead. So Rorschach, the continuation, came into the book two villains we'd never even heard of, which by the way were amazing.
I did like the mime.
They
And
should have
the
done
mime
way
and
more books
the
on them.
the mime and
Yeah.
the
mime and Marionette,
yeah.
and they were amazing.
Those are great. Yeah.
They were awesome.
I mean,
But
Joker's been in it.
But-
Watchmen wise,
Owlman's not in it.
Alan, something's.
No, it's saying we got low battery, so we got to go quick.
it's a good book. I enjoy the art. Check it out. Stories, like I said, dense. Rating, I'd say for this issue probably about 3.5. Also,
We're speeding it up. We're running.
yeah, we're running out of battery time.
Running out of
Sorry.
battery.
Okay, Alan, what you got?
Triage by Dark Horse, written by Philip Sevy and art by Philip Sevy also. So it's kind of a interesting book. It starts off with a lady that's kind of a nurse. She's in this OBGYN. She's helping give birth, and the lady pees on her. So she kind of like has this like gross interaction. Then it cuts to this one character that's kind of a superhero and kind of full of themselves. Beats up this big giant robot. Then it cuts to another character that is like a post-apocalyptic world, and she's kind of helping people survive. Then cuts back to the nurse who's with her girlfriend, and then it turns into this weird like sci-fi dreamscape kind of look, and it turns out that all three of those people that they introduce are the same person. It looks like we're from either a different world or different timelines, and then they meet this older version of themselves. While they're meeting this older version of themselves, this robot kind of crashes into them and is trying to kill them for some reason. And the old lady version of them is trying to help them to survive. And she's kind of, as her dying breath, she's kind of telling them directions, but they're not really doing well with it. You can go sleep with us, Terry.
Pretty much. Yep. Nap time.
It's gonna be documented. Terry sleeping.
I've already nodded off a little bit.
So then it cuts to the old lady sends the three other versions, the superhero, the post-apocalyptic, and the nurse, sends them away before this robot can get to them. The nurse wakes up, and all of a sudden her girlfriend walks in the room, and she's like, what is going on here? And then it cuts to the last page, and it's all three of them in the same room. So there's three versions of herself, and so everybody's like, we don't know. So and that was the end of it. It was actually
Convoluted?
yes, but not bad. But the beginning was very confusing. Like I didn't understand what they were doing, because they were just like, it's like this nurse, and then all of a sudden it's a superhero, and then all of a sudden it's this post-apocalyptic world. And I was like, I didn't understand what was going on until they showed them later all together, and they all like kind of take off their masks, and they reveal that they're the same person. So I was like, okay, now I get it. So it's kind of bringing them together to protect themselves, I guess, or something. So it revealed a little bit, but not a lot. So
Is this
I'm
online
curious.
only?
No,
No.
You said it was.
I think it's a
Horse?
Barger. You had it right. You
Dark
had
Horse Triage.
It. You had
Yeah,
it.
but it wasn't on the list of books that came out this week. On
Well, remember, it
Dark
must have been
Horse.
last week's.
No, this one I just downloaded this week.
Anyway, go ahead. We're running out of battery.
Digital release was just this recently.
It's right there.
Well, I know, but it just. Anyway, I don't recall seeing it at the comic shop.
Because
Oh, well, that's mine. I didn't order it.
Okay.
Or ordered one copy.
He doesn't order a lot of things that I read.
Is that how many horns?
I would say I would say it's a good start. 3.5 unicorn horns. Art's pretty decent. Interesting start. I'm curious enough that
Is it a Barger book or Berger book?
Karen.
Karen Berger. Yeah, she's
The one that used to do.
Vertigo stuff.
Vertigo.
Yeah, no, she's doing some stuff at Dark Horse now.
Philip Sevy?
No, I mean it was.
But she's
the editor.
She's the editor.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I mean, well, if she is, she's not.
Okay. All right.
She's not recognized in the credits.
Okay.
So if she is, it's possible.
I'll have to check that out. Sounds interesting.
But yeah, it's. I mean, like I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. I don't know. It kind of reminded me of Orphan Black. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that. But all right. So that was it. Next book club, you'll have to read all yours, and we can.
Next time I'll read
do
a
this
book,
again.
maybe.
I also read Web of Black Widow.
Yes, sorry.
I enjoyed it. I'd probably give it 3 horns. It was
The art was amazing.
going back to her origins, and one of the. It was a. There's a guy that got rich because of she was sent to kill off all his competition, and she feels that he needs to pay for that now.
It's kind of told 2 different times.
And then she runs into
Tony
Stark and plays him like a fiddle.
Yeah.
And he calls Steve Rogers, and he's like, Natasha's out doing Natasha stuff again. We're going to have to deal with
problems.
this.
Yeah.
Just let her do what she has to do.
I enjoyed it. I like the art. The art was
I give it a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give it a 3.5 on
That's what is hard. Like I feel like the past couple series that
Our
were
friend probably
actually
doesn't
really
like it,
good,
though.
they just stopped them.
Yeah.
And then they keep rebooting him, and every time they reboot him, it gets worse and worse and worse.
Right, yeah.
So like I feel like
Marvel, please. You used to, when you change writers or do the story, you just start a new arc with the same book.
Yeah.
You don't have to every time. You don't have to relaunch. Every time you change anything on a book.
Yeah,
Come
that's
on.
They changed the cover art to relaunch it.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of the times people like, and I read an article they were talking about how old writers used to they would write all this crazy crap right before their arc ended, and then the next person would just have to try to figure out how to fix it.
Now they just don't care.
Now they just
ride
end it
over
and they're
top
done,
of
and like
it.
yeah.
Well, or if they do crazy crap, then they just pretend like it didn't
Yeah.
even happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything else?
Well, like
Did you
that
read
last
anything else?
X-Men run.
That's
that way.
It was a busy week.
Did you read anything else?
It was a short week.
Justice League 31.
Oh, God, you're still
God.
reading that?
It's a Doom Justice War. Apex Luthor.
It is the same
It's a bunch of
story
crap.
they have been telling since they started back on number 1.
The whole
It's the
singularity
same-
thing. Yeah, it's just horrible.
Same story, and it's 31
Although
issues now.
we get
and
Justice
it's just
Society in though. They
I don't
finally
care.
introduced Justice Society.
Like, I don't care.
So, but-
I gave up, and it was just
Yeah,
just
it's-
sad that they can't get past this. Like
I keep reading it, just
horrible.
hoping it gets better.
I did too,
and
and
it's
I
not.
finally gave it up.
And it's a shame because it's Scott Snyder, so
It's horrible.
I'm sure
He's
some
worse than the
Worse
other
than-
writers.
worse
Get that one really good run of Batman, and then after that,
yeah.
So I read Deceased. It's DC. It's kind of Elseworld book, zombies. It was okay. I probably won't pick up the second
DC's
one.
Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was.
DC presents Marvel Zombies.
Yep.
No One Left to Fight, number 3. It kind of continued on with the little story, so it still leaves a little bit of mystery to the main character, like he has some kind of affliction that they lead to, and you still don't know why he's kind of the way he is. But I like it. It's kind of an action comic book. It's very Street Fighter-esque kind of look to it. I also read Everything, number 1.
Is that the one about the mall?
God, I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell everything. It's literally what they do that.
Yeah.
That's what they're like. It's like, welcome to everything. We
It's
have
like
everything.
everything
You should
you
work
want.
for everything.
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
it's like a Walmart.
Yeah.
But honestly, I could not tell you the premise if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I could probably reread it, maybe go, but I read it and I was like, I have no idea what happened. It was horrible. So that one I probably give 1 out of 5 unicorn horns. I read Battle Pug. That was kind of fun and interesting. It's a goofy comic. I probably want to pick up issue 2, but I wasn't mad that I read it. It was just okay. So 3 out of 5 unicorn horns.
Which better, Battle Pug or Battle Pope?
Battle Pug. Yeah.
what about Battling Boy?
No. Not in the same realm.
Dang.
So,
mass.
And
He's
then-
out kicking ass.
Alpha Flight, True North, number 1. This kind of seemed like it almost seemed like it had an old feel to it, because there were some characters in there that they brought back that I was like, I didn't know they were still alive, like Marina.
They weren't. Yeah, because it was a story that was written, I think, and just put in a drawer. And so
Yeah.
I think they finally dusted it off and.
So
think-
that kind of got a little confusing, because there was some that were just
Right.
like, I was like, I'm not for sure where this timeline's supposed
I
to be,
think
because
you're
it's
dead.
there's 3 separate stories, but I like Alpha Flight. I just wish I understand what it was about. Like, I didn't know if this was like supposed to be like, are they making a new
I
launch?
think it was just like a one shot.
Okay. If it was a one shot, then it was actually pretty good, because it had some interesting stories, but I just didn't know where to place those stories. So, and some of it actually did look like they were going to do something. Like there was a little cliffhanger at the end. So, but 3 out of 5 unicorn horns, it's superheroes, it's team book, it's fun stuff. So that's it.
That Berserker, it's kind of sound like that Conan What If it did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is very Conan-esque. I mean, like even
Yeah.
his look. I mean, it's like Conan done by Mike Giordano.
Well, they did a What If where he actually goes to current timeline.
Yeah, it's a one shot.
Like now.
Yeah,
They've done
Yeah, in the 80s.
they've
yeah.
done a couple of them.
yeah, they have. Yeah,
There's a whole new Avengers for them. Like Avengers.
Yeah.
that one too. Yeah,
That's actually been
But
really
then-
good. Have you been reading it?
No, I
The
tried
the
it.
one
Just
Captain
went ahead.
America throws his shield at Conan, and Conan blocks it with his sword, and he's like, "That's not how that's supposed to work at all."
So it was, and I mean, I have a ton left to read, so I've got to
Definitely
Okay.
go back and redo Savage Adventures 1 through like 4.
I'll try.
It's actually really
promises.
good. So I've enjoyed
It's
it.
just that I don't. None of the characters interest me. I don't. Like
It's kind of interesting though to see this Venom though kind of encompass on the sword of Conan, and so he has like this venomized sword, and it's kind of seeing
like-
Conan pick up Wolverine a comatose Wolverine and start slinging
See,
him
and
around.
that was fun. That was like issue 1 where you just
One
like
or two, yeah.
I like some of the characters. They just don't seem to. It doesn't seem like a good mesh.
The first issue I read was okay, but honestly, like I said, just none of the characters interest
I
me.
mean-
Like I don't like Conan, and I hate Wolverine, Punisher.
You're wearing
Well, I never
Wolverine
see the
colors
Punisher. The Punisher as a solo
Marathon.
But it's
character.
Wolverine
He
colors
Punisher
though.
didn't get into groups.
Yeah,
It doesn't
it's
fit
and
for
they
me.
didn't bring in like I don't know. I
And
just-
Wolverine, for the most part, should be solo, except for the X-Men.
yeah,
You know, so.
But it kind of works out a way. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
I've heard it's actually pretty decent. I just like I said, no, I'm not really interested.
Batman
so.
fist bumps.
But anyway,
Batman does not fist bump. Who's the one that wrote that? Was that Tom King?
No,
The thing is
Scott
not stronger than
Snyder.
the Hulk.
He should be shot.
That's a new one. Yeah.
So anyway,
It's
we need to wrap this up.
Yeah.
We're almost out of battery. Sorry.
Thanks for joining us for the special edition of an Angel and Unicorn comic book reviews. If you can, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell the world about it.
Ring the bell.
Also, Dal and Terry also have a show that they do comic book straight talk. So if you can like, share, and subscribe to that,
Mhm.
I'm sure they would love the people, and it's a good listen occasionally. I like when they argue; it's funny. It's just every episode. So,
So every episode's great then.
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, we're
Lots of drama.
5 episodes.
So until next week, we hope your pull list is full. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Bye.